Hello, Crispy friends. Abby Gatling here, founder of Crisp Communications, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of our Crisp Monthly. This is our newsletter where I shove everything marketing into one email. I'm talking updates, marketing news, tips. Basically, I want this to be a really valuable resource for you to help take your business's marketing to the next level. Lots of things to talk about today, but as always, I'm going to start off with our marketing news. And I want to start with a little bit of news around Instagram because a lot of people ask me what is the best thing to measure when you're talking about your social media posts. And the Instagram chief has come out this week and said that contrary to belief, the number of followers is not the most important thing to look at. So they know that this is the number that can be fudged. People buy likes and followers, and it's just not that important. Instead, the amount of engagement amongst your followers is what's most important. So really, you should be focusing on the number of likes and the number of views that you're getting on each of your posts if you're really wanting to look at measuring your the value of your social media accounts. So starting off there. Now, keeping on the social media track, TikTok Notes. This is a brand new thing that is coming out, and it looks like it's pretty close to being launched. It's going to be a new dedicated photo app, which is kind of like Instagram, I suppose. It has been in the works for a while, and now it has this new name that's going around. Nothing is confirmed yet, but I'll keep you posted. Now, speaking of TikTok, I mentioned in a couple of previous episodes about the ongoing drama that is happening with TikTok in the US and the calls for the ban. So there's actually been a resurgence and a lot of pushback on that one where TikTokers are speaking out. A lot of creators are speaking out and saying that this potential platform ban in the US is a threat to job creation and economic prosperity for all Americans. So those are some pretty strong words, and we know how the Americans feel about having any sort of deprivation of liberty. So I think that it's really smart that they're calling this type of action out in that way. Who knows if it will make a difference, but again, watch this space. I will keep you posted. Now let's talk about X for a little bit. Do you remember X used to be Twitter? I don't know if anyone's really using it that much. Numbers on the platform are dropping like flies. And it might even happen a little bit faster. So recently, Elon Musk has decided to start charging an annual fee to be on the platform. And he thinks that this is the only way that you can, what did he say? Curb the relentless onslaught of bots. Literally, word for word. That's out of his mouth, or actually out of his X account, really. And basically, he thinks by charging an annual fee to users, and this will stop bots and fake accounts being on the platform. We will see. This has been trialed already in New Zealand and in the Philippines. And it may be rolled out wider than that. So I'm interested. Do you think that this is another step towards the demise of X? Or would you actually pay to be on the platform? I'm keen to hear your thoughts. And now just jumping over to podcasts. Podcast transcripts are on the rise. In previous episodes of this Crisp Monthly, I've spoken to you about the various platforms that are adding transcript functionality embedded into their service, which is so great to see. And so if you do have a podcast, now is the time to start thinking about getting some transcripts made. This would either be procuring your own transcripts for your accounts, for your episodes, or actually going through and checking the automated transcripts that have been created on some of these platforms, Spotify and other places like that. because there is no point in having transcripts if they're not accurate. But overall, I think it's a really great thing to have transcripts on there because this is a really good way to help boost the accessibility of your content and means that you can reach a wider audience. Okay, now let's jump over to the thing that I think most people are interested in, and this is the #1 inquiry that we get here at Crisp. I guess this is kind of a little indication of what's going on in the market because generally we see these trends as to what people are asking us about, and I feel like this is probably an indication of what's happening in the wider market. So this month we have been talking a lot about niching, finding your niche. And when you find your niche, you're basically putting your hand up and saying, this is who I am. This is my space. And this is what I want to be known for. So it helps you sort of carve out your own little plot of the market. And it can help you thrive and it can help you stand out from your competition. So you can position yourself in a number of different ways. There's a number of different ways of niching. So we've been working on, with our clients, working on, are they going to niche by the types of clients that they're helping at the moment or want to help? Are we going to niche on the type of services that they are providing? Perhaps we're niching on the quality of service. Are we going for a really high end and high price tag product or service? Or are we going to go for a cheap and cheerful and go for volume instead of, say, quality? It's quantity over quality in terms of your niche. There is no one particular way to do it, and there's no right or wrong. So it really does take a conversation with the business owner and an assessment of what you're actually offering now, where your skill sets lie, and where you want to be in the future. And all of that goes into determining what your niche should be. But the sooner the better, because once you find your niche, then you can really, really go deep into your communication and making it super, super specific for that niche. And the more specific you are, the more likely you're going to cut through and actually have people resonating with your marketing messages. So if you're talking to everyone, you're kind of talking to no one. If you're talking to your niche, you're talking to someone specifically. And so if you are being really specific in your marketing messaging, then you're more likely to get people in that niche. So that's sort of the start of the process. But if you want to, kickstart the process yourself, feel free to get in touch with me, or I actually have an ideal client workbook, which is something that I put together, which helps my clients kind of figure out who are their ideal clients, who do they want to start niching down on. So I've written an article about that and I've got a workbook, and what I'll do is I'll just put a link to both of those a bit further down in this newsletter. So let me know if you have any questions about any of that. I hope that you have enjoyed this update, and until next month, take care.